Hi guys, welcome to another Euroleague episode with AlleyOopDunks, and in this league we have teams from number 5 to number 14 separated by one game. So as you can see, the mid-table is getting crazy. But since last time we had finally Real losing a game, and from here we warned last week not to select Real, select Mateo because it was a very dangerous game, and Fener needed to do a magic comeback and go to the overtime and do a great double team or Campazzo in the last seconds. Um, Deck wasn't really clear about what he should be doing. Maybe he was a little bit further from Campazzo, and just like that, Madar with a winning buzzer beater, and Fener got back into winning ways, and everybody now has at least one defeat in the league.
Campazzo had a sensational game. Let me add, sensational game, and some moments that, with fake passes, it was pure magic from Campazzo.
Yeah, I think he didn't miss a two-pointer, so I think 11 or 12 out of 12. So and many assists as well. And from what you mentioned, he did an amazing fake of no look pass or pass. I don't even remember. And for a moment, I was trying to find the ball in the TV. I was like, "Where is the ball?" And then he just shot it, and I was completely lost. So yeah, but the magician wasn't enough. So Campazzo magic wasn't enough. And here we are then. Yeah, as you can see, there were many great games. We had 2 out of 3 coach selections. If you watched us, we said we're gonna risk it all with Milan, and it was a risk. So that was the only selection that broke week. And if you see, most of the favorites actually had difficult night. So let's navigate then for the next double week. So we have on the left of the screen the first 2 fixtures, the first 2 game days, the 5th and 6th of December, and then the other round starts on the 7th of December and closing on Friday the 8th.
Yeah, round 13 is 7th and 8th of December.
Yes,
But we see some interesting games, Bill. Both rounds, round 12 and round 13, and you see for round 12, you see Olympiacos versus Real Madrid. So it's the finalist. It's the final again.
yeah.
New season, new teams, but very exciting game, I believe.
Yeah, and they have a different start of the season. One team started very strong, the way they ended the season, and the other team perhaps a little bit less strong than they wanted. But yeah, Olympiacos is also within the playoff race, so that game in Piraeus is going to be great to watch, definitely. And I think there is another game in the top of the standings. We have Virtus Bologna versus Barcelona. That would be another interesting game to see on this double.
Yeah, we have to see how how Barcelona can perform in Italy versus Virtus Bologna, which is a very stable team at home. And also, because we are talking now for Virtus, we see in round 13 we have Virtus again versus Maccabi. So 2 home games for Virtus. So not easy games, of course, very challenging games, but a big an opportunity for Virtus to have 2 wins. So Virtus will be in the top, let's say, five in the standings if they have two victories. You never know. Um, and also in round
Probably top
13,
three.
probably yes. And also we have Panathinaikos versus Real Madrid. So Real Madrid is visiting, Greece this week, uh, Athens, and plays in Piraeus and Athens as well. So these two games for round 13. So challenging double week for Real Madrid, to say at least. And
Mm.
if I'm not mistaken, which I believe I'm not, three away games for Real Madrid. One versus Fenerbahce, then versus Olympiacos, then versus Panathinaikos. So three in a row for Real Madrid away games, and difficult away games, not with
Yeah,
let's say easy teams to play.
yeah. Let's see how many defeats they will have in the end of these three road games. So we have another Spanish team that we mentioned before has another second difficult game. So after Real, now is Barcelona playing with Fener, although at their home, uh, Catalonia. So that is another interesting game to watch in this double week.
Yep.
But I think for us, let's go to the important things. Let's see what our coach selections
Mhm.
for fantasy. So if we start on the next round, remind me, is it around 12?
Yes,
I
it's
think
round
it
12.
is. Double check. Yeah, around 12. So for round 12, we have starting from the top. I think we will go with Panathinaikos and Ataman, as they do play in FS. We know that FS has many absences and problems with injuries, and Panathinaikos seem to be having a good rhythm right now. So that's our first option there.
It's the return of coach Ataman to FS, home court after all these years, successful years, not just, years as a coach, successful years. Um, and it will be interesting to see how they will welcome, coach Ataman back.
And not just successfully. If we think in the past, I think the FS front office were desperate to actually win a European, the Euroleague. They always had great teams. If you remember, they managed to go many times in the Final Fours, and they just couldn't make it. And I think there was a rumor that that's their last final push, and if they don't make it, perhaps they would give up on these big aspirations, and then Atman comes and takes the team from bottom, playing the best basketball, getting them to the final the first year, playing great basketball, and then the second year playing the best basketball in Europe by far that year, with the COVID, everything cut in half, and then back-to-back titles. So
But but
yeah,
but we have
start.
before we mention the basketball they play, because it was beautiful basketball, very exciting. We have to give compliments to Ataman, because this coach built the team, so he knew what he wanted on the floor, he knew what players wanted, but he meshed them well all together
Yeah,
to create this team.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think the Misic, Larkin, and Simon trio is like legendary. And then having Pobois just in your reserves is just mad. So, yep. And then what else do we have here? So we have, do you
We
want
have
to
also,
take it?
yeah, we have also coach Max Vitis from Zalgiris Kaunas versus Alba Berlin. It can be a tricky game, but we believe Zalgiris had a convincing win versus Olimpia Milano in an away game as well. So Also they won in the Lithuanian league, so Zalgiris is having the momentum right now to just go to Berlin, and if they perform as they should, it will be a W for Zalgiris and coach Max Vites. And also we have coach Kumbru from Valencia. Valencia is playing at home versus Crvena Zvezda. They lost in the ACB League. Valencia lost in a home game versus Bilbao. Not general good, performing wise, season moment. Let's say not season moment for Valencia, but Valencia is Valencia. We believe this round is an opportunity for them to turn it and just go back to the W row.
And I wanted to add that Cervena Vesta, they do have also two games in Spain. So they play Valencia and Baskonia. So potentially they can live with nothing, or they could even win both games. So it's going to be tricky to road games for them. And I wanted finally to add that we, at least personally, I'm looking at the Asvel program, and they have two games at home. They play one Maccabi and the other Valencia, and something tells me that they will probably get one win in these two games. If we think about they have the new stadium, the loss to Bayern in the overtime, uh, they have great chances to have their first EuroLeague win in the new stadium, and I think is a great chance with these two teams. Maccabi lately is not as convincing as they were at the start of the season, and so if they don't do it there, perhaps maybe they could try with Valencia, but that's just a risky position with Potsenko in one of these two games. If anyone is having less than 4.5 credits or even less for a coach, right?
Mhm. Let me add that I love the new stadium. The new Asvel Stadium is amazing. Just to give props to the team, they did an amazing job.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, and I will start now in this way, because you mentioned Crvena Zvezda, and for round 13, one coach that we recommend is Coach Ivanovic from Baskonia. So, he was previously in Crvena Zvezda at the beginning of the season. So now new team, but you know how competitive Coach Ivanovic is, and he will want to get a W for his team now for Baskonia. So Coach Ivanovic is one suggestion for the coach selection. The other is Coach Barzokas. Olympiacos is playing both games at home. The first versus Real and the second versus Bayern. So we believe Olympiacos versus Bayern has the quality, and also will not have to travel between the two between the rounds. So Coach Barjokas is another option to choose in round
Yeah.
30. And last we have Coach Grimau. Barcelona is playing versus Fenerbahce. Is a very tricky game. It can go either way. You see what happened versus Real Madrid. But we believe Barcelona at home is strong. They have the players, and the momentum is for them to get another W at home.
So we mentioned Campazzo before, so we need to mention La Provitola and the eight triples he had on the previous game. So amazing performance by him as well.
Yeah. You see, it's
So
like Argentina is all over Euroleague.
yeah, yeah. Um, Cool. So with that, I think we can just move on to our teams.
Mhm.
And let me just get them here. So as you can see, this is our main team. Um, we gained zero point 0.8 in credits, especially happy with code selection. So let's see what we, and Campazzo being the captain, so let's see what we are going to do. As you can see, one player didn't perform very well, and that's Tavares. So for that reason, Tavares is leaving the team and is replaced by Lesort. The reason we're replacing Tavares is not just the matchup. So he has a match against Olympiacos that has um, a good center line with Milutinov and Paul, but also we believe that Lesort should be back on his A game in FS. Also, I think it's only Jones, perhaps from the center position
Mhm.
for FS. So it is our captain as well. And then we swap Jackson for Puerto for 4.2 credits. Is Jackson. He, as you can see, he scored some lately. The last two games, he's actually getting 20 minutes of playing time. Before that, he had 10 minutes. So that means there is a position, a role in the team from Pocheco. Although his age, he's performing well. So with just 4.2 credits, this is really a filler for the team, something that can give us something small. Anything else remain as is? So Tillman, Mitoglu, Campazzo, of course, Tonut and Snyder, Sentekers and Sengelia for the second round potentially could be captains if the short um, doesn't do great. And finally, the other change we had was bringing in Mubru for Kaltas. The other team, Konstantinos, our second team, over to you, did
Yep.
quite better on capital gains, right?
Yeah, so we get one credit. That was the gain we got, the capital gain we had from last round, and you see almost all despite the fillers. But if you see, all players perform well except Thompson. So let's see what moves we made and how we decided to spend the credits we had.
And again, just while we're doing that, we can't have any common player within our two teams. That's the rule we put to ourselves just to make it more difficult and more spicy.
Yeah, true, true. And as Bill said about Tavares earlier, I told you Thompson didn't perform. Thank you. We thank Thompson. It was a mutual consent, the agreement. So we decided to bring Baldwin. Baldwin is playing versus us well, but he has the momentum right now, and is just amazing. If you see 27.5 versus Alba Berlin, 22 versus Barcelona, so definitely a key player for Maccabi, and top option for guard to have in your team as well. Then we replaced Davidovac with Grigonis. Grigonis had a very good game versus Partizan. At the beginning, he didn't miss a shot at the beginning. So now versus FS lost Clyburn for a month, if I remember correctly. So despite you know it has a lot of players and depth in the roster. I believe Grigonis has a good momentum right now and a good rhythm. So bringing Grigonis for Davidovac was the option we had, and then we changed Mantsukas for Lazarevic. So Lazarevic is the filler, let's say, for the team. However, he played versus in the last game versus FS. Um, he had 5.5 fantasy points with 2 points, 4 rebounds, as you see, in 10 minutes. So he gets the playing time, and we don't expect something big from Lazarevic, but between 5 and 7 fantasy points will be enough. And finally, we changed the coach. Instead of Coach Grimau, we brought in Coach Max Vitis. So previously, it wasn't good for us, but we hope this round will be different, because Zalgiris has a good momentum and good rhythm, and versus Alba, they have the quality potential to get the W. So we kept Moneke, Larkin, Luvahukabaro, Bellinelli as well, and Fall. We didn't want to change these players, and this is the team that we built, the deep value.
Brilliant. So with that, I think we have now looked at all the teams. So thank you so much for staying with us, and hopefully you have some great results this week, and another week of having great coach selections and plus points. See you on the next one.
Enjoy the games, guys. Double week ahead. Enjoy the games and see you next time.